Morning all, how we doing? Bear with me one sec. A little bit late today. Where is it? There we go. Right, how's everybody doing? Morning, Zinnia, Ladder, David. Right, sorry, really not ready this morning. Morning, Analia, Fabio. Hang on a minute. Fabio's man's name. You've got a picture of a woman, Analia, Veronica. What's going on? Something's not right there. Quick recap of yesterday. Sorry, bear with me one sec. What is going on with my platform? Sorry, bear with me one second. Back again. Sorry, my browser wasn't working. Just quick rebooted it. Yeah, quick recap of yesterday. Didn't really get anything banked yesterday. I closed out New Zealand dollar CAD. New Zealand dollar CAD. Two positions on that. So I closed that one out in profit. And I had a break-even stop set on second position. It came and took me out with spread. Didn't get to my break-even stop, but the spread took me out. So I left the EA running, and the EA took the re-entry reversal alert, which is down here now in profit. So that's the only profit I got yesterday. US dollar Swiss. I stopped out on that one. So the trade was the entry on the break of the Asian high with stop under the low. We pushed up into this accumulation basically here. So I dragged the stop up underneath the Asian lows just to reduce risk because it's a Swiss franc and the Swiss franc is very, very strong at the minute. And then it immediately tanked, took my stop out, and we've accumulated since then. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm quite happy to be out of it because I didn't really like the trade anyway, particularly because it's a Swiss franc. And the Swiss is just not letting go at the minute, and the US has got no power at the minute. So it was only a small loss. So I only managed to bank 0.1 yesterday. It was rubbish. It's your wife, is it, Fabio? Okay, Analia. Morning, Andy. Back after break in the UK. Very good. She is jealous I have to use her. Morning, Jesse. Right, so where we are at the moment, we've had some overnight movement on the Aussie. I say overnight, we've had a big push this morning. Aussie New Zealand though, the New Zealand dollar rather I should say, we've had some movement on overnight. So Aussie New Zealand is nicely in profit at the moment. I'm very close to TP on one of those positions. So basically this first position here, I'm TPing around about highs. Second position is obviously the runner. This was initially set here. I've moved it down into this propulsion gap, just in case we put in a lower high, assuming we obviously get up there. We've got to get there yet, but so I'm toying with the idea of banking this one. Just to get the profit in the bank, so I got 0.5% there. New Zealand dollar CAD I've got running, obviously. Canadian dollar oil yesterday pushed up. I think about $2 a barrel. Yeah, we got up to 112. Sorry, that's daily. Hang on. Where's the period separators gone? Yeah, no, we got to 110. We were at 102. I thought it was a couple of dollars, maybe not. But we're up to 111 now. We got a gradual increase on oil. We're just coming up into this area of contention here. So looking for oil to see if we can get a decent break today. If we can, I think our next stop is going to be 118, which should bolster the CAD. So I'm not particularly worried about the New Zealand dollar CAD trade at the moment. It's hovering around here. It's pushed down, obviously. The nice thing about this one, obviously, it's pushed down below the propulsion gap that we got into. We double bottomed that and we got supported again there, which is why I took that position off. We broke it yesterday and held, pulled back, and now we've considerably broken down. So I'm looking for this level here to hold and continue back down to the downside today. Market's just opened, buying across the board, as you can see. So I don't want to take both of these off, but I do want to get something in the bank because I kind of lost a little bit yesterday on that one. So I'm just watching this Aussie New Zealand at the open. I don't want this to pull back on me too hard. I want to get this this TP done, so I need another 10 pips out of it. So that's where we are at the minute. Aussie New Zealand in profit. Euro US dollar, absolutely stuck on the Euro US dollar. This thing's just not going anywhere at the moment. So we had the push up basically, and since then, last week, we've gone absolutely nowhere. We're just toying with these highs again. Again, we rejected the highs in Asia again today. This level is holding very, very, very well, this 1.06. So I'm hopeful that we're going to get that drop today. The EA's taken another position on this for me yesterday, so I've got two which are fairly close to each other. So I'm keeping an eye on this because I don't want to go into too much DD on it because I'm a little bit too tight. But we've gone nowhere on it, so I'm not expecting us really to go anywhere. We've got Lagarde speaking at 9 o'clock this morning. We've got our first US news this afternoon with consumer confidence, which doesn't tend to do an awful lot. The manufacturing index doesn't tend to do anything anyway. But we may well get a little bit of a start to US dollar strength off the back of that, hopefully. So, and then obviously tomorrow we've got Powell speaking. We've got the GDP as well. So I'm hoping we get some US dollar strength starting to come through. The Dixies really sideways at the moment. We had this big strong push down week before last, and since then we've literally just gone nowhere. We've gradually declined. I mean, we are gradually obviously declining, but it's not going anywhere. So we need a catalyst. We need some news event to kickstart this. It's just not. We're just not getting it at the moment. Is that it on the DAX? Interesting. We'll have a look at the indices in a minute. I was expecting a little bit more of a push on the DAX this morning, but we've not had it. So Euro US dollar not gone anywhere. Pound odd still in that one. That's going the right way now. So back to break even on that at the minute. Again, a little bit of Australian dollar strength coming through. Really want to crack these lows. If we can get these lows cracked, we're off. Just can't really manage to get any traction on it. The Aussie's been a little bit too weak. So hopefully this is going to start now to get some movement. New Zealand dollar CAD we've looked at, and the US dollar yen, which is coming back into profit as well. We had yen pairs. We've had a little bit. That's the Aussie, but we've had a little bit of a consolidation on the yen pairs. So we're just waiting again. It's really crappy week so far, and the end of last week as well. It's just a consolidation everywhere across the board. It's awful. But this is what you have to do. You just have to sit through it. There's nothing you can do about it. So that's where I am at the minute. We'll have a look through all the FX pairs in a moment. I'm really tempted to take that Aussie New Zealand off completely. I've just got a feeling we're going to pull back. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt for a minute. Might regret that, but anyway. Is it me or is the spread quite high today on the DAX? Spread? It depends on your broker. This is Axie. I'm showing you here. So Axie spread is bigger. Not the best spread in the world, Axie. Which is why I don't really trade with them very much anymore. I traded futures yesterday all day as well. I put a post to the Telegram group. I don't know if you saw that, but I did 21 grand yesterday. It was very good. It wasn't all real though. There's some of that was on demo. Some of it was on demo. Some of it was on a top step evaluation. Some of it was on live. But the total through Jigsaw was 21 grand. I got on the leaderboard. I was third on the leaderboard for Jigsaw, which is amazing. Never been on the leaderboard before, so I was quite chuffed with that yesterday. I'm planning to do some futures sessions. I'm kind of getting into it again. I kind of flick in and out of futures, but anyway. Nothing wrong with taking a profit. You're quite correct, Andy. I can always put it back on, but see, it's waning. I want to get something in the bank today. I've got New Zealand CAD on, so I think I'm going to take Aussie New Zealand off because it's 0.4%. I need some profit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that out completely and bank it. I'm going to leave the EA running. With Aussie New Zealand. So what I will do is, if this does pull back, I'll get in the next reversal alert long and I'll re-enter the position because the position is still valid. If you look at it on the 4 hour, the position's still valid. What we're playing is the bounce of the 72.24 zone, and this is the area I was looking to hold, which is holding the 24. The 72. So if we do get the pullback, I'll enter on the next reversal alert long. So I still think we're probably going to hold this and go, but I get the feeling it's very choppy. I guess get the feeling we're going to get some decent pullbacks in it. So I've always got an additional entry, and I still like it long. So I'll let the EA continue that for me. So banked 0.4. And I've got another, got roughly another 0.5% I can bank almost anyway as well. So, but I'll let the rest run for the minute. Jesse, I saw your post. Great results on futures. Why did you bother with demo? Because I banked. I banked 1,800 on the live account. I banked 1,200 on the top step evaluation that I'm doing. And I basically didn't want to overtrade. So I went into demo. And when I was in demo, I was doing basically, I'll show you. What's the date? 28th? 27th. So yeah, so when I went into demo, I started trading five contract entries, because I always trade singles. So basically I started on I banked all of this yesterday morning. I had a runner that I let go miles into drawdown, which I had to dig myself out of. Actually, that ran for an hour and I completely forgot I had it running. It was in the live room. I completely forgot I had it running. So I was quite lucky on that one, to be honest. So I banked all that yesterday morning, and then I went on to 5 contracts in demo, and I started scaling into 5 contract entries. And then I finished mucking about with 5 contract entries, so I went back to singles again. Just a stonking day yesterday. Absolutely killed it. But yeah, it's good. Chart time. Well, ladder time. Not a chart, it's a ladder. Anyway, we'll do some of that in a later stage. If someone wants to practice on Jigsaw or equivalent, what's the most cost-effective solution? Well, you've got to buy Jigsaw, which is $600. And then you need to get data feed. So the best, to be honest, if you want to practice, you can get a data feed from lots of different places. But to be honest, the best thing to do would be to go with someone like Apex, yeah, and just pay. Well, I say it's $147, isn't it? But I mean, if you went to $147, if you want to practice, to me, practicing with a live account or a prop firm evaluation account is better than just practicing with no money at all, because practicing with no money at all, you will be too relaxed. But any chart time is good. But if you went with someone like, go with Apex and just basically get a $147 a month account, you get all your data included in that, and you can start trading properly. We've just broken out to the upside. On the indices. So yeah, you can do that. Or the other option you've got is to go with Top Step, who will give you a you can do a practice combine, 14-day trial. You get data with that as well. So you get 2 weeks worth of data for free there. So there's another option. But yeah, that's really what I would do. So sorry, just a quick recap. Oh, I've done the news this morning, haven't I? Yeah. Consumer confidence, I've done that. But anyway, I'll do some futures. I'm planning to do a futures, kind of not so much of a course, but kind of bootcampy thing on futures, just to go through it all. What's the platform with Apex? You can use whatever you like with Apex. With all futures, you can use whatever you like, really. Jigsaw, you can use. It's Rhythmic, NinjaTrader, the usual stuff. Top Trader 8, Sierra Charts. There's loads of futures platforms. Some are better than others. So I just need to quickly close the position out. 1 sec. So I just banked $400. Yeah, so you can use any platform you like, really. I use Trader 8's feed at the moment, yeah, because I've got 2 feeds. I use Rhythmic with my Apex account, and I use Trader 8 with the Top Step account. Use whatever you like. Data's data at the end of the day, as long as it's level 2 data. So as long as with level 2 data, you need level 2 data because you need the ladder, basically. So you got to be able to see all of this. So this is level 2 futures data, which you will get with any futures platform. Some platforms like Apex will only give you the initial bid ask, so you will only get that figure and that figure. You won't get the full depth of market. So you can pay an extra, I think I can't remember what I pay for it, $14 a month or something to get full data from the CME. But you can figure all this out. It's all in the welcome stuff you get with all the futures prop firms. But Trader 8's good. Top spec would be free for 14 days. Yeah. So I'm just looking at where I am. Okay, so right, let's have a look at everything. So I'll stop waffling on about futures. Yesterday, going through the indices, DAX, we had a whacking great shooting star yesterday on the DAX. So big rejection candle. So this morning, as I said, I was watching this morning just as we came on. I was expecting a little bit more of an initial dump on it this morning, purely because of that candle yesterday. I was expecting this to be an M. But we seem to have pushed up this morning. We are rejecting though at the highs now, so potentially this could be the drop from here on the DAX. So again, we're in a bear market. We've got the gap on the DAX, which is still hanging over us at the moment. Gaps get filled. At the moment, there's a long way to go on that. So I'm not sure the DAX has really got it in it at the moment after this massive big drop that we had. So difficult to call on that one. But the US indices, we had a pause candle yesterday across the board. So we have done that move that I said about yesterday. There's two potential options in play here. We either have, I've got this stupid risk reward fib on. Sorry, one sec. So we've got the two options in play are either the pullback on the full 3-week move, which would be looking somewhere around here, or we've got the pullback on the most recent move, which is exactly where we are now. This is exactly where I was looking for us to start showing signs of rejection, which we got yesterday. So today could well be the start of the next leg down, and for the rest of the week. So I'm looking for a bearish week this week, and obviously today really needs to be where we start to reject from, if that's going to happen across the board on the indices. So all in good spots at the minute. Dow is just trying to retest the highs. Nasdaq's miles away, and the S&P's got loads of room as well. So looking for drops on all the indices, hopefully. So I'm going to be bearish on them. Sorry, I missed your question there. 171. If I have your trade reversal indicator, what's the best time frame? Whichever time frame you want to use, basically. There is no best time frame. Time frames, market's fractal, so market structure is apparent on every time frame. Obviously, the lower the time frame, the more reversal alerts you will get, and the less effective they will be. So up to you. What time frame? The answer to that question is always going to be, and it's in the bootcamp, is what time frame can you trade? That's your best time frame. If you work full time, you can't trade anything less than H4 or daily. If you can be in front of your computer all day, you can trade whatever time frame you like. Time frame is really designated by you and your chart time. Okay, ADRs today, we've got nothing lit up at all at the moment. So the New Zealand dollar pairs, I would expect would be the first to hit, but we haven't got anywhere near actually on ADRs on those. So nothing there, nothing on the weeklies. Again, we're in accumulation across the board at the moment, so there's nothing hit on the weeklies. Monthlies obviously are out of action because we've only got 2 days left of the month. So nothing really getting particularly close on any ADRs at the moment. Hourly RSIs again today are flat. and 4-hour RSIs again today are flat as well. So it's just a dead day, basically, because of yesterday's price action. We haven't got anything to look at, because we just had sideways day on the vast majority of stuff yesterday, and as you can see, we're just sideways at the minute. It's market's flat, very, very flat. I think the Swiss franc scared the life out of the market. We are in a massive fear mode at the moment, and nothing's moving. I don't think I've got the fear and greed index, but the fear and greed index is very much fear across the board. So we're risk off at the moment. Aussie dollar is the strongest currency at the moment. Yen is the weakest. So look for a potential mean reversion opportunity on Aussie yen. Still going on about the rate hike in July. Anyway, we'll have a look at pairs. Has anybody got any specific pairs they want to look at? Let me know. Morning, Stevie. Any thoughts on pound CAD? So pound CAD is short. So I mean, you've missed it really. The entry was anywhere after this initial push. We're just coming back into that propulsion gap at the moment, but the pound is very, very weak. So I was expecting all of this to happen faster, a lot faster, based on CAD strength. So the Canadian dollar should strengthen up and continue to strengthen up on oil prices, and oil prices are rising. Pound is obviously very, very weak at the moment economically, so we'll be looking for drops on the pound. So yeah, pound odd shorts. News catalysts this week for the pound, you've got just Bailey tomorrow. Lagarde speaking again tomorrow afternoon. Lagarde speaking all the time. She's on this morning as well, 9 o'clock. Just be aware of that. CAD, we've got GDP on Thursday, and OPEC all day as well. So Thursday's a big day for the CAD. So potential catalysts there for strengthening the CAD. But if you look at it on the 4-hour, we're shorts. We're definitely shorts. But up here was when we wanted to take it. It's too far extended for me to get into this at the minute. Thanks for your answer. Another thing I would like to ask is, what can you see to support the decision when we get a reversal signal? Have you watched the videos on YouTube? If you just go to my channel on YouTube and watch the Boocamp, watch all the trading strategy videos, watch all the indicator videos. There are every answer you could ever want about the indicators and strategies to use with them is on all of this lot. Yes, it is hours of video, but yeah, EMAs, RSIs, whatever you want to use really. Adverts. But my strategies revolve around institutional moving averages and relative strength with the indicator, obviously. So here, for example, you would be looking for M15 reversal alerts short. So you would have had one trigger up here, telling you to get into a short position. You would have had one trigger in there as well, telling you to get into a short position. Or you could have taken the hourly one. Yeah, but staying in line with the 4-hour or the daily moving averages. Pound odd. Pound odd is a short as well. I'm in that already. Short. So we're just coming down. We're double bottoming at the minute. So yeah, that we need that low to break. When that low breaks, we're open to the downside on it. So hopefully we get that broken. It's rejected twice on yesterday's low so far. But yeah, short again, same thing. The pound is weak. We've got a nice reversal and retest on AH4. This is the zone that I was looking at. So this block here is drawn on these highs and this high here. Yeah. So my initial entry was on this resistance. Yeah, so there's my initial entry there. And then my additional entry was taken in this chop when we've rejected that. And looking for it to come back down and retest this propulsion gap down here. But at the moment, the Australian dollar has been letting us down. We've got a weak Aussie. So the pound's basically just not gone anywhere. The pound is a short. The Aussie is kind of neutral to strong. So just waiting. A lot of this is waiting, unfortunately. Franco Swissy. Yeah, so all the Swiss franc pairs still. Are you long on some Franco Swissies? I was going to say, that confused me then. I was trying to say Swiss franc and then your name is Franco and my brain got really confused then. Did you hear that? It was called a brain fart. Franco. Yeah, Swiss francs long. You got. I would be short everything against the Swissy at the moment. So all the Swissies, we are still stuck in this accumulation. So we've got the big Swiss franc rate announcement, which took the whole market by surprise and shock. It obviously completely collapsed. Everything collapsed against the Swissy. Money piled into the Swissy. And since then, all we've had is accumulation drops. And potentially we've got another one coming. But we have now got some very large propulsion gaps to target on the way up. So it really is completely dependent on when they stop piling into the Swissy. Across the board, so every Swiss franc looks exactly the same. That's the reason I didn't like the Swiss franc, the US Swiss yesterday. I took it because the US is stronger than the rest at the moment. You can see how the US has stood up, whereas the others have gone like that. The US has managed to survive because it's a little bit stronger, but even so, it's not beating the Swissy at the minute. So all the Swiss franc pairs, you've got a decision to make, and any trades you take on it really need to be stop loss based rather than position trades. Stops under the lows. If you're going to take these longs, go for the initial propulsion gaps. If you want to be super brave and super brave, we're looking at that sort of movement. I'm looking to get in short when we get up into these areas. So I don't want to do a mean reversion trade on this. It's very nicely extended on the 4 hour, but it's just not getting anywhere. So all these are the same. CAD Swiss, Euro Swiss, everything is stuck against this, the Swissy at the minute. Pound's very weak this morning. And New Zealand dollar Swiss and US Swiss. So yeah, they're very tricky. Was in long, made a few dollars, but got out before consolidation. Yeah, you can. Take longs on all of these. This US Swissy looks good again today. We pushed down yesterday. That's what took me out yesterday. That big strong move down. Since then, we've accumulated. They've just swept yesterday's low this morning. So if you include the spread on most brokers, you've just done a stop run of that liquidity. And we've got a reversal alert. So again, double bottom bounce. But how long will it last? So get out. Or if you don't want to get out, when you get a break of the Asian high, bring your stop up. and you'll probably get stopped out. But if you don't get stopped out and it does go, the risk reward on this trade is vast, absolutely vast. We've potentially got how many got? Why is that not drawing that propulsion gap? I've got to go even further back. Look, I've got to go to 1,000. Really? There we go. So yeah, I mean, look at the hourly propulsion gap. That's the actual move on the news. Your risk. This is why I took this trade yesterday. My entry was there. My initial stop was there. From a risk-reward perspective, it's vast. If you want to take it there and just get in there, you know, even if you just went for that, you've got a very nice risk-reward there. So they are really, really looking good for longs, but you know, you can't argue with the fact that the Swiss franc at the moment is just killing everything, and there's no signs of it letting up at all until we get some rate changes or some news coming out of the other currencies. I think we're going to get continued strength in the Swissy. Don't forget as well, the other thing we've got coming is the rate increase for the euro. That is going to affect the Swissy positively as well. So we're likely to get positive movement off of the euro rate increase in the Swiss franc, which means that this is going to power up even more. So I just don't want to get in the way with it with a position. Don't position trade it. Trade it with a stop, and you're either going to get it or you're not. But if you try and position trade this, and this does come down for another leg and orphans these propulsion gaps, you're never going to get out. Well, you will, but you'll be in it for possibly months. It'll be horrible. So it's just not worth it. Your website is very effective and educational. Thank you very much. Pullback, ladder option. Pullback in the pound CAD to get in, or do you think it's completely off? Yeah, pound CAD I would get in short if you can get a pullback. I mean, at the moment, you'd be looking at this level. So yesterday's low, really. If you can get a pullback on it, potential to come back up into this area as well. I mean, if it comes all the way back up there, it's probably not going to be a good trade because it will mean that the CAD has weakened off of OPEC tomorrow. So difficult. I would look for a shallow pullback, maybe somewhere in here, if you can. I'm not sure you're going to get it. Pound's melting this morning. Oh, apart from the pound odd, funnily enough, the one that I'm in. It's not actually, is it? No, the pound isn't melting. Take that back. Pound CAD is. So we've got a strong CAD by the looks of things. Yeah, we've got a strong CAD this morning. That's what that is. Although it's fading a little bit now. So, I'll have a quick whiz through all the pairs. We'll have a look at everything in a little bit more detail. And just see if there's anything new potentially to get into. Don't trust New Zealand CAD. I'm just going to start trailing this. Oh God, look at the spread on it. Put 180 trailer on the New Zealand CAD. I'm just going to lock that in. So that locks in $100. God, that's a lot to drop, isn't it? It's 0.1%. I'm going to speak to Robo today about this spread, because this spread is absolutely huge. On these New Zealand pairs, it's way bigger than normal for some reason. I should have put this in a raw account, really, shouldn't I? So put a 15 pip spread on New Zealand CAD trailer rather. I know this is melting at the minute, probably ahead of tomorrow, but I just want to bank this as well. I just want to get some money in the bank this week. I can always add these back on. What do you think about Euro Yen? So Euro Yen is a long. You've kind of missed the boat on it at the moment. We're just coming up to this double top. So you want to watch what happens up here. It's kind of a triple top, but that's kind of the initial reversal, that M there. So you're coming up to this high. Likelihood is you will get some kind of reaction there, but then probably some kind of burst through. So yen is very, very, very weak. Yen is incredibly weak at the moment. They're in all sorts of trouble in Japan with their currency. As you can see, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see which way you should be trading this one. So your entry was back in the pullback. So at the moment you can't really long it because you've got no room. You could long it, but I mean obviously you're longing into resistance. So you never want to take a long into resistance. You never want to take a short into support. So right now it's just wrong. England is an oil producer. Other than inflation, why is it being dogged so badly? We're not a very big oil producer. Well, we are, but I mean, it's the problem with the pound at the moment is it's just weak from an economic point of view, from an inflation point of view, from getting over COVID economically point of view, from a retail sales point of view, from a banking sector point of view. Forget the fact that we've got a guy in charge that the entire government doesn't want in charge, and we've got every single service in the country about to go on strike. Can you think of anything positive about the pound at the minute? That's it, literally. The market sentiment is not interested in the pound because there's nothing going for it. You don't want to put your money in a small island that has most of its money generated by the banking sector, and a third of it was ripped out when Russia invaded Ukraine. It's just, we're not in a good spot at the minute. It's just overview. If you get these AAA ratings, A ratings, etc. by the ratings agencies like Standards and Poor's, and we're not good. So just not great. And don't forget, most of the oil fields are off of Scotland, not England. So not really ours. Let us know what they say. Interested in what they blame it on. Well, the spread basically is a lot of people know this, but if you phone your broker and say, I'm not happy with these spreads, I'm jumping ship, they will alter your spreads. So you can get in touch with your broker. You've got an A book and a B book. I suspect at the moment I'm on the B book by the looks of these spreads. This is a new account which I've amalgamated all my funds into. So when they see me starting to make money, they will probably tighten my spreads anyway. But I should have really put this into an ECN account. I didn't really think when I was putting it all together, but never mind. Current spread on New Zealand CAD on ICM, ECN RAW is 1.2. Yeah, you're always going to get better spreads on RAW accounts that charge commission. Thanks, you live there, you know better. Yeah, it's just because I watch the news every day. You get, it's a little bit of a feeling, it's a discretionary feeling. When you, literally, I say to my wife every week, the news is literally like turning on Doomsday constantly. There's never a positive. You know, on the news they normally end on a positive note. They don't even do that anymore. There isn't any positive notes left. We're stuffed. You know, and the talk of recession, it seems every week at the moment, the chances of recession, they are increasing that percentage over and over again. So, yeah. Stevie committed the cardinal sin last week and took 4 Swissy pairs. Swiss yen short, CAD Swiss, Euro Swiss and New Zealand Swiss long. Let the traders know to replay the vids. Yeah. Exposure. This is why, if you haven't got this dashboard, go and get it. Trade Manager Dash. This is so important. If you take 4 positions on the Swiss franc, I'm not on any Swiss franc at the moment, but if you had, let's say, US dollar, if I had 4 arrows there on the US dollar and the US dollar goes like that, I am in big problems. Exposure is absolutely critical. You need to understand exposure, and do not overexpose yourself. Whether you're using a stop or not, it doesn't matter. If you're using stop loss and you want to take 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 positions, whatever you want to do, don't overexpose yourself on one currency. Covered in detail in the Bootcamp, which is just free on YouTube, so go and watch it. Where you advise traders to never take more than 2 trades in one currency, I should know better, but will not be doing it again. Currently on 6% drawdown, mostly on the Swiss yen. Yeah, but that's good. I say it's not. Well, it's not good, is it? But it's good that you're experiencing it. Hopefully, you get out of it. But that's how we learn. Yeah, you know, I liken it. You know, when you're a kid and you see a snake in the grass, you poke the snake. And you keep poking the snake until the snake bites you. You never poke the snake again. Same as this. You overexpose yourself. You make loads of money. You overexpose yourself. You go into 12% drawdown. You go, I'm never doing that again. That's how you learn. Unfortunately, you have to go through pain. Don't get me wrong. I didn't go around poking snakes when I was a kid. I did every now and again, but we don't have that many snakes in the UK. There are grass snakes. They're not venomous, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Let's call it poking a bee's nest. There you go. Everybody's got bees. Not everyone's got snakes, have they? And in fact, it's probably more of a slow worm than a snake. We don't do snakes in the UK. Right, let's have a quick whiz through all pairs and just see if there's any opportunities anywhere. If anybody's got anything else I want to look at, shout. So Aussie CAD shorts, this is where I took the short up here and was looking for a break. I think I got out somewhere down there. We broke and we came back down to the lows, which was the initial target. So at the moment, looking for pullbacks to take new shorts, somewhere into the 24.72 zone. Want to see it break this low first though, so I think it's probably still got a lot more in it to the downside, the Canadian dollar. Tomorrow's the big day, obviously. Wednesdays is oil day. So we've got oil inventories tomorrow afternoon at 3:30. They're not on here because they're yellow. But we've got OPEC meetings all day, and we've also got the CAD GDP on Thursday. So we've got some decent catalyst potentially for the CAD, so we may well get that break low. In fact, we probably will. We might even get it today. Look, there's loads of room down to ADR today for this. So once we've broken this low, we're looking for pullback shorts on it. At the moment, it's just a little bit too extended. Aussie dollar Swiss, we've covered all the Swissies. You know what to do with Swiss. Aussie New Zealand, I've exited. Just got out of those ones this morning. That's quiet today, isn't it? Yeah, got out too soon. But hey, my target was here anyway, so yeah, there you go. There was my target. So it's hit target. We're approaching ADR on that Aussie New Zealand. So out of that, we'll get in on any pullback and pushes. So still like it long. We're just coming up to double top now at ADR, so just be aware if you are still in this one. We're hitting ADR, we're also hitting a double top potential, which is previous resistance, likely to turn into support. Previous support, likely to turn into resistance again and get a reaction, then look for a breakthrough. So I will get in again on the next reversal alert long. Aussie yen long, I got out of that one, as you can see as well, back here. But again, you can get into this again long if you want to. Still looking for short yen, continuous short yen. So we want to be longing everything against the yen. So 24 area, 72 zone on all these yen pairs is where you want to start buying it up, especially if you get extended on the RSI. Aussie US shorts, again, we're just waiting for that move on the US dollar. So it's flagging and dropping at the moment. The next drop we're going to get on this is going to be straight down into support areas. So yeah, looking for shorts on it. It's just not doing anything at the moment. It's a very, you could even call this really a range we've entered. But look at it on lower time frame. You see it is starting to get weak. We are moving down. So market structure is bearish. We're looking for that next leg down on it, really. So it's just we're waiting for a catalyst to move it. But I'm looking for shorts. CAD Swiss, again, Swissy covered. CAD Yen long. CAD Yen's dropped, pushed straight up into that double top, and it's pulling back. So break of that, we'll be looking to get all the way up to there. There's my initial target on this entry, on these entries up there when we took that CAD Yen the week before last week, 20th. Yeah, last week. So I'm looking for it to get up there. Canadian dollar strength, obviously, off the OPEC and oil and GDP figures potentially. What's the forecast for the CAD? 0.3. So they're forecasting a drop in GDP. I'm just looking for a similar. It's a real mixed bag with GDP, so it could go either way. They're forecasting a drop, so if we get that will be positive for the CAD. If we get anything more than that, like 0.4 plus, that will be positive for the CAD. So difficult to tell, but I'm still looking for CAD strength based off of oil anyway. So CAD Yen long, Swiss Yen, just don't get in front of this at the moment. This is the strongest currency in the market at the moment against the weakest currency in the market at the moment. Just don't get in front of that. You could long it literally any time you like. You probably take a bit of heat on it, but unlikely you'll lose. Euro odd, we are stuck in an accumulation. This one I got out of at break even. Just didn't like it after that push up, and it's literally gone. We're literally back at my entries a week later. It's not gone anywhere. I get the feeling with this euro at the moment, we've kind of got into a little bit of a holding pattern ahead of the rate announcement. It's a little bit early, but I think the euro strength that we've seen has been very weak. This strength, we've been battered down a lot. Every push up has been battered back down again. So the market's still not convinced about the euro. The rate announcement's going to make a big change to the euro, and I think we're probably going to get some strength starting to show through on it. But at the moment, I think you can probably take an RSI extension every time you get it, and you've got a good chance of just getting an ADR move out of it. So playing the RSIs on them, all of these euros, but as I said, we're not getting any extensions. There's no movement on RSI, so Nothing's moving fast enough and hard enough to get us any signals. So Euro odd, be looking for short-term shorts on it, but I don't know the direction on this one at the minute. So sideways, not really doing anything, not really any entries. Euro CAD short, you see I took loads of shorts on that one when we're up here. So some nice positions to get out of, but we are sideways. We've just broken down. We are literally just breaking the lows every time. We just break the low, pull back, break the low, pull back, break the low, pull back. That's all we're doing. It's just what you can see. It wants to go. The CAD's just not got the strength at the minute, and we've got a little bit more strength coming through in the euros. So this thing I think is going to break and it's going to drop and it's going to come back down to this accumulation. See where my initial target was? That was my initial plan. My initial trade was straight back down here. It just didn't go, so I got out of it. But literally, it's an ADR drop, one ADR drop. You're going to get that off the back of CAD news probably. So it's a good looking short. It's just backfiring constantly. So if it pulls up again, take the next reversal alert short on it. But this is the one where we are really stuck in this range. We're trying to get this next leg down. There is danger to come up here and then likely come back down again, but we're stuck. We're stuck on the 72. We're in the 24. This is exactly where I want to be looking to short it. It's just not getting it. So get in short, get out if you don't like it, get in again later. Just take shorts whenever you want to on it really at the moment. It's breaking down. It's textbook market structure, isn't it? It might take forever to get there, I don't know. But yeah, shorts. Euro Swiss, again, we're going to get, this is going to be a weird one to trade when the euro rate comes out. We're going to get powering up potentially in both of these currencies at the same time. So it would be really interesting to see who wins out, whether the euro becomes stronger than the Swissy. Probably unlikely. But again, same as all the others, you've got a big play back up into that propulsion gap. It's just not able to do it at the minute because of the Swiss franc. So, Stevie, I can say I'm fortunate as the drawdown is currently only 20% of the profits I made on the month. So the pain is minimal. Have 4 positions on the Swiss yen. Yeah, do DD control on it. Use either do aggressive drawdown control on the Swiss yen or just keep chopping away at it. So use, this is what this is for. Yeah, you bank 0.4%. Use 0.1 of that to chop away at something. Just take a little bit off of that one, or take a little bit off of that one if you need to. I mean, I'm not even in 1% yet. So, but just chop. Just start chipping away at these, and eventually you'll get a move on that. That will go to profit. That will go to profit. And you'll be at break even before you know it. The whole point is to try and keep the break even line within an ADR. Yeah. So all you're looking for is one ADR push, and you're out. As long as you're keeping this within an ADR, we know that when we get a strong push on a currency, we get an ADR. A strong push, we get an ADR. Yeah. We just want one strong push. So as long as you're keeping it within an ADR, you'll be fine. And to do that, we start chipping away at these ones, and the more we take off the lows, the more the break-even moves up. There is a hedge. There is a hedge. I think that means triangle. An RSI divergence, I suppose, on the 4-hour short. I don't know what pair you're talking about there, Analia. Franco. What's your name? You got to come in with your right name. I can't scroll up on this, so there we go. Fabio. So yeah, all these euros basically, we are stalled at the moment on all of these. So Euro Swiss, be interesting to see where that one goes. Euro Pound is a long at the minute. Tight ADR, just not really worth it. Euro Yen long. Euro New Zealand, we're stuck sideways. Again, this is a weak pair against a weak pair. Goes sideways. No real opportunities on it. You could probably take, again, with all these euros, you could probably take all the RSI extensions and just scalp out of the RSI extensions. So wait for the RSI to get extended on the 4 hour, drop down to M5 or M15 and just play these drops and just take little half ADR moves out of these if you want to. Euro US dollar shorts, again, same thing, we're stuck up at this accumulation. US dollar, just waiting, not happening. Pound odd short. So we covered this one already, looking for that drop to continue. So we tapped into the 72. We've hit this accumulation. So this is a nice area of balance. We had price discovery up there twice, and then we came up and said, yeah, we're happy here. We broke back down again, pushed back up. We could well stay here. And if we do stay here and we just do that a couple of times, I'll be out. But yeah, looking good for shorts. Again, just looking for this pound weakness to continue. The Aussie dollar's been letting us down, no strength. So we just need some strength in the Aussie and that will kick that down. Pound CAD down against the Canadian dollar. So that's breaking down nicely at the moment. We've got that break. So shorts on that one. You've missed it, obviously. It was entry was on Friday up there, or the real extended entry was after that big strong push. But I say it's not done that, it's just flagged. The whole market last week is just awful. Swissy again, pound is weak, Swissy's strong. That's going to come down harder than the rest. The hardest one to mean revert, definitely. Pound yen long, but again, the pound was hit hardest with the yen strength that came in after the big push. So again, this one's going to be the slowest, one of the slower ones to react. This and the euro will be the slower ones to get back up to these highs. You've got things like the CAD and the US dollar, which should fly through those highs a lot faster than the others. New Zealand dollar yen is completely sideways mess, not interested. Pound US dollar looking for shorts, waiting for the US dollar again. Yeah, no strength in the US dollar. Just accumulating, waiting for the next leg down. That one you can get into kind of any time you like as a short. I'd like to see it get extended on something to get in, but equally you can, if you'd have got into this on Monday last week, you're still in it. Hasn't given us any opportunities to get in really and get any movement. So pending orders under the lows, as you see them form, one of these is going to go, one of these is going to break, and you're going to get an ADR move or more on it. You're going to get a collapse, but it's just waiting for it to happen. So pending's under the lows, and you'll get gathered up when it finally decides it wants to do something. New Zealand dollar CAD, I'm already in short. Got an inside bar forming at the moment on M15. So yeah, New Zealand dollar CAD obviously is a short based on New Zealand weakness, CAD strength. So when we get down to these lows, we'll probably get a bounce. So it'd be nice to get down to ADR today, but looking additional entries, pullbacks, and then shorts. New Zealand dollar Swiss, same as the rest. This one's fallen out of bed completely. All these Swissies, if you come out to the daily on all the Swiss francs and just look for where the next potential sticking point is going to be. You've got an ADR to 1.5 ADR potentially. If we get down to there We're massively extended on the daily anyway. But if we get an ADR hit to the downside on these, one of these is going to be the exhaustion point. One of these big strong pushes down. It's just knowing which one it's going to be. So if you do get ADR hits to the downside on these, they're really worth longs with tight stops. So wait for the reversal on M15 or M5, depending on your preferred time frame, and just try one. One of them's going to hold. One of them's going to give you that catalyst. It's going to move it, and it'll be something like the New Zealand dollar will just fly in an Asian session, and you'll wake up one morning and it's like, wow. Just got to wait for it. New Zealand yen is a long, but again, it's very weak at the moment. We've got descending lows, so we're kind of a sort of very wide symmetrical triangle on that at the moment. US dollar CAD. We've got a couple of RSIs. Just hit. We'll have a look at those in a sec. So yeah, longs, but again, this is weak, so it's not the best one to take. If you want to take a yen long, US yen or CAD yen, US dollar CAD, really don't know a direction on this at the moment. I kind of want to start longing it here, but I don't really want to long against the Canadian dollar ahead of OPEC meetings tomorrow and GDP figures on Thursday. So not really for me at the minute, but there's a good probability of a bounce here. But you are risking quite a lot by taking a trade in the middle of a range. So if you take a trade in the middle of a range, you've got a 50-50 shot. If you take a trade at the top of the range, obviously your odds are a lot greater. So 90% of breakouts fail. So if you take a range bound hit to the upside, you should be good. US dollar Swiss, same as the rest. Yeah, love it long. It's just not going anywhere. But equally, that Swiss franc could just go. When we break here, if and when we break and hold here, next stop is down at ADR, and then next stop's going to be 150 ADR. So you could watch this today, and if we get a new lower low put in, or now literally a retest of this support rectangle, shorting it here, with the play being we're going to drop and break and hold this low, you've got a good ADR to 150 ADR drop. Yeah, loads of room. Maybe wait for a bearish engulfing or something on M15. But if this low breaks and holds, you've got that previous day's low, and then from there on you've got sky. So if we don't get that power on the US dollar today and the Swiss franc decides to just keep powering up, you're going to get that move, I think, that we've been seeing every day on the Swissy. So it looks like a good short, but equally, because of the massive propulsion gaps to the upside, it also looks like that good long, which is the one I tried yesterday. I could have break even that trade. I decided to just move the stop up and reduce risk, but it's absolutely obvious to the banks, obviously, which is why they came down and took the money. But one day it's going to go one way or the other. We're going to get a break, and it's going to start moving. I just don't know when. And US dollar yen long. I'm along. I'm in profit on that one now. Yeah. Thank you, Lee. Learn something as always. Good night. Night, Franco. So that's all I've got for you today. Any gold traders out there? Gold is just impossible at the moment. Russia has the biggest stock holding of gold. The G7 are voting. I think it's today. The G7 are voting on the embargo. Yes, final day of G7 today. So basically the G7's plan is to ban all imports of Russian gold from moving forward, which means Russia won't be able to export any obviously gold, obviously to China and anywhere else it can, but G7 it can't. So how that's going to affect gold prices to be seen. But we haven't really been going anywhere for quite some time now. We're going back to sort of mid-May, where we finished this push, and since sort of mid to end of May, 6 weeks now, we've had no directional bias on gold. So the market has gone completely flat on gold. Obviously the US dollar has been weaker than expected as well, which isn't helping. So it's very difficult to tell with gold. You need to be playing it short term. So yeah, as Jesse just said, it's been a very super choppy nightmare, which is why I don't trade it. But yeah, your guess is as good as mine on gold. I would get interested down here. If we get an ADR hit to the downside on it, I'd be interested. I wouldn't take it, but I would start, if I was you, to get interested in longs. If we get back up into these highs up here, so draw a zone in. If we get anywhere up to 225 ADI, it's not going to get there in one day, but well, it can do. It's gold. It can do whatever the hell it likes. But yeah, if we get anywhere up into this zone, that's where I'd be kind of looking for shorts. So always assume when a range forms, it's going to stay range bound until it proves you otherwise. 90% of range breakouts fail. They are header fakes. So yeah, assume when you get up to there, we're going to get some kind of drop, and assume when you get down to these lows, you're going to get some kind of pop until it goes into a trend. You'll know it's gone into a trend because it won't just break that high, it will smash that high, and then it will pull back into that high, and then it will start a new leg. RSIs we just got hit. We had 3. Aussie New Zealand, typical. It's the one that I got out of. This is the one that hits RSI extension. So yeah, we're extended on RSI to the upside. We're approaching double top. We're approaching ADR. We're approaching a propulsion gap. Many reasons to take a short. So if you get an ADR hit on that today, nice little fade, but I would expect it to do that. So this is a counter trend mean reversion. CAD yen pushing up into double top as well. It's rejected that double top, so extended on the RSI. Again, you know, that's where you got extended on the RSI. Doesn't mean it's going to come back straight away. It means it's extended and it's due a pullback. Yeah, so this thing could keep going and then come back at a later stage. It could just come back from here, but it's extended, so worth having a look at. Not massively extended. Don't forget these are only 70s. Yeah, we've seen the RSI dash, you know, many times up there. So, you know, this is just getting extended. It's the first moves we've had this week, basically. And US dollar CAD extended to the downside. Again, this is in a really good spot. I really like this US dollar CAD long, just because it's where it is on the daily MAs as well. We're also heading into this balance area. Where we're likely to find some buying support. We're in the 38.50 area, which is an average pullback. It's just got so much going for it long, but you're longing straight into potential Canadian dollar strength for 2 days. You know, so you can talk yourself out of a trade, can't you? And there's really good technical reasons for a long. There's really good fundamental reasons for not taking it long. Got to do one thing or the other. If this does get a big strong CAD for a couple of days and you do get in here, the next level of potential resistance you're going to find is going to be down there and down there. And obviously we looked at this one, didn't we, as being a very wide range. So if you got in there and it didn't work, you could look at taking one off the 72 to try and get the bounce and then exit, because you only have 2 positions on. You've only got to get this one pulled back up into there, haven't you, and you're out. And failing that, if it pushes all the way down to there, you can take another position there, in which case your average is going to be somewhere around there. So, you know, if you look at it from an ADR perspective, where we are here, worst case scenario to drop down to there is 3 ADR. If you're spacing your positions out 1 ADR apart, you're only going to be in 3 positions. Your average is going to be here. If this thing gets all the way down to there without having a breather, there's no way this is not coming back. This is going to be so stretched as an elastic band, it's going to ping back fast and hard. You're going to get out of it. It's the US dollar, come on, it's going to strengthen. It's just whether or not the CAD has enough strength to push it down tomorrow. And don't forget, we've got US dollar news all week as well. So, hi D, yeah, you are late. We're just about to finish. So that's everything covered, basically. Still no 4-hour extensions. So yeah, nothing to look at there. New Zealand dollar CAD's pulling back a little bit. God, the spread's awful. I might have to change this account. I'm going to phone them and ask why I've got such big spreads on some of these pairs. It's mainly the Aussies and the New Zealands. Saying that, it's not, is it? It's just, no, it is. Yeah, that's New Zealand. It's the New Zealand pairs. No, and the Aussies, look. Almost untradeable. Certainly couldn't scalp them. So New Zealand dollar CAD, I'm getting out of that one this morning, one way or the other. So I'm either going to get stopped out on the pullback, or we're just going to push down and it's going to hit my TP. So one way or the other, I'll be out of that. In fact, what I'll do is I'll stick that down at ADR because I've got the trailer on it. So if we get a big strong move on the Canadian dollar or massive New Zealand weakness, I might as well go for the ADR hit. The trailing stop's going to come down with me anyway, so I'll be out of that one today. Banked 0.5% already, so be looking at about 0.7% today. US dollar yen, thinking of banking some of that as well. That's starting to wane a little bit, isn't it? So I've got 0.25 on that. 0.2. I'm going to bank one US dollar yen. I'll add that back on again. The EA is still running on that. So any pullbacks and then reverse alerts back long again, I will get into another position on it. But just going to bank that just to get it in the bank, basically. And that's going to bank as well. So I should just about scrape 1% today. And then I'll monitor the rest. I'm going to leave the pound odd running. Whew, hello. Yeah. Hopefully New Zealand dollar CAD is going to do the same thing. So that's it for today. Anything else you need, I'll be in the Telegram group. Let me know. I will be doing a bit more on the futures today. And I'm going to put together a little plan basically for futures, so we can just spend a bit of time looking at futures, and I can show you some drills to do to increase your understanding and getting used to DOM analysis and stuff like that. But I'll put something together and put maybe a few live rooms together, and then we can just do some structured approach for those that are interested in futures trading. It is nice because it's decent money, but it is hard work. Like I say, I spent all day trading yesterday, and it's very tiring. But you know, it's also good money. So, and everybody wants to do it. I think the main advantage to scalping futures is, and this is something that people don't take into account. If you think, if you're trading on 1 hour charts, for example, yeah, you've got 24 candles in a day. And if you've got a particular setup you're waiting for that maybe repeats itself 3 to 5 times a week, yeah, how long have you got to spend doing chart analysis and waiting for these setups to come to figure out whether or not you've got an edge in that 1 hour strategy? Yeah, if you get 3 to 5 a week, so let's say you needed to make 30 trades before you could have a look at that strategy on that one instrument and say, actually, yeah, that's good or that's bad. You're going to be sitting there for 2 months. Yeah, I can take easily 30 to 40 scalps a day in futures in both directions on multiple strategies. So the learning curve time on futures is much faster, because instead of waiting for those 30 trades to happen over a period of 6 weeks, I'm executing them every single day. So I'll be executing 500 to 1,000 trades a month. I know whether or not it works then. So that's the advantage, I think, of futures, and why everybody jumps into futures and they like going into futures, because you can test your edge very, very quickly. And obviously you get funded very quickly, funded in 10 days in futures, depending on who you go with. So, Ferdinand, what type of indicator is that? Are you talking about what you see on the screen here? This is not an indicator, this is a price ladder. This is Jigsaw. It's a futures platform. Anyway, yes, I'm starting trading. That's the trouble. You get engrossed. Do you have a video on trading futures? No, that's what I was just talking about. What I'll probably do is kind of do a live room and just explain it all, and that will be the video basically. It's very discretionary, futures. You can teach, there's strategies, obviously, there's lots of different strategies you can teach people, but it's a discretionary thing, so the thing you got to understand with this is there's buyers and sellers constantly. This is what this is representing. These is, how many buyers and sellers are there in the ladder and executing at the minute. You can hit short at the same time as I hit buy, and we will both be in and out the market in 10 seconds, and both of us will have bank money. So, it's a discretionary thing. There's many ways to trade futures, accumulations and rolling volume clusters. There's all sorts of stuff. Breakouts obviously are great. I took that breakout this morning. That was a breakout trade this morning. You saw me take that, but well, you didn't see me take it. I had pending orders in the market. I took the breakout this morning, $450. There's lots and lots of strategies. It all depends what you want to make at the end of the day. Which is why having multiple accounts is a good thing, because when you've banked X amount on one account, the biggest killer of futures traders is fear and greed. And greed is the biggest. So you bank $1,100 in the Globex session. You go, hoo-hoo, I'm on a roll. I'm going to wait until New York opens, and then in New York you lose $2,400, and you think, why didn't I stop when I was an $1,100 up this morning? Best thing you can do is, in my opinion, which is what I'm doing, is don't trade that account anymore. Switch over to another account and then start trading the other account from scratch. And now you're starting from zero, and you're super cautious, because as far as you're concerned, this is nothing to do with the new session. I'm starting at zero. I haven't made any profit yet on this account. So get 2 accounts running. When you've got a decent target on one, stop trading it. Go on to another one. Or go on to, like I did yesterday, go on to demo and practice. If you're not trading live, trading practice. Just trading. As long, the more time you spend in the market, the more you'll get it. I just started the Top Step free version this morning on TS Trader. It's not as complete as Jigsaw, but it's free. Yeah, nothing wrong with TS Trader. It's a good platform. The DOM is very limited, and it's more based around charting. You notice I haven't got any. I don't use any candlestick charts at all in futures. You can use. I have charts. But it's cumulative delta and volume based, no candlesticks, no price action. Order flow versus price action, different. But you can use, a lot of people use come on brain, tick charts and my god, my brain's gone dead. What are those big blocks? Renkos. Renkos are really good as well. A lot of people use Renko in future trading. Time with the idea of taking it along on that, but I didn't. Never mind. Right, so that's me done for the day. I'll be in the Telegram group if you need me. Back tomorrow morning, 7:50, same time. And if you've got any questions or anything, obviously chuck them in there. I'll update on anything that I'm doing. On these, New Zealand dollar CAD, I've got trailing, so that's going to get either stopped out or it's going to hit TP today. I'm entering a new US dollar CAD, US dollar yen if we get any pullbacks and pushes. Pound odd I'm monitoring. Euro US dollar is pain in my backside. I'm not going to do anything on it at the moment. If we break and hold above these highs today, I'm going to go into aggressive drawdown control on it. I don't want to get into more than 4 positions on this. I haven't even hit 0.1 yet, so I'm not actually anywhere near my pain threshold of any kind whatsoever, but it's just not going anywhere, which worries me because what comes before a big move? An accumulation. So what I do not want is the break to be against me, so I'll keep an eye on that one. Okay, back tomorrow morning 7:50. Anything you need, let me know in the Telegram group. Otherwise, I will see you then. Have a good day.